My guests today are both stand-up comedians and the co-owners of the Comedy Bar in Seattle. One is also the co-host of the Tarp Report podcast with comedian Sam Miller. Excited to welcome Jess Anderson and Dane Hesseldahl.
Dang.
Hey,
Official.
That was professional as hell.
Yeah. I fucked up Dane's name, though.
That's okay.
The very
Everybody
end.
does.
Do you want to redo it?
No, man.
You're
It's
good?
good. Everybody fucks up my name.
I don't think.
You can bring that mic
Hassel.
closer to you if you want. It
okay,
looks
sweet.
like you got to get these shots perfect.
All right.
Hesseldahl.
For all the people. Hesseldahl?
Hesseldahl.
Hesseldahl?
Hessel.
Hessel. That's just my fucking accent coming into play right there.
I really.
No.
We can redo it. if
Sure,
you
let's
want.
do it. Yeah.
I don't want to.
It was so. I felt like it was really good the way that. Don't make it redo.
Came in official.
Yeah.
Welcome on, guys.
That was nothing like our podcast. Holy guacamole. We're usually yelling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's just like a family fight going on.
it's not good usually. Yeah. That was great. Hi.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I'm
having
Jess
us.
and that's Dane.
Yeah.
Clear that
in
out.
this city, you gotta distinguish who's who, right? Sorry. Before we even jump into anything, this is the fastest I've done this, I think. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. Also, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/FNFpod. If you are watching us on YouTube, throw in a comment. And then just fucking check out our Patreon. Help us out if you can. Both of these two are doing a bunch of stuff in the city. We worked together recently, though, at Premier Meat Pies.
Oh.
Heck of a
and
show.
what a night.
Yeah, that was
What a
fun.
night.
Shout out to Chris Moran for booking the three of us. And those were some delicious meat pies, too.
I did not have the meat pie. What did I have? Oh, the mac and cheese. And the mac and cheese. But it did, your guys, you and Scott both had a meat pie.
Yeah,
did you have
Scott
a meat
Lossy.
pie as well?
I did not know, but
No.
they looked good.
Did you eat?
No.
We barely did comedy and we didn't eat.
No, that was probably the best show that I've done this year, I think.
You think?
Yeah, the 5 people that were there,
Well,
they
then
were
plus
very
us.
attentive. Yeah.
They were Dane kept offering them drugs, which made sense because they were children.
That's true.
They were like 17
And you
and
should
18
offer
years
Yeah,
old.
I was going to say, like, who likes drugs better than kids? Come on.
That's
Yeah.
their favorite thing.
Yeah.
It was a really great. I mean, it was beautiful. We got it was a beautiful view. It was a wonderful night.
Yeah.
And-
You got that picture of me where it's
You
like a
look
senior
great.
photo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Completely like.
Maybe I'll put that in the show notes.
I think you should. Yeah.
Producer. It was fun though.
I love a good show that there's no one, only a few people there.
I love a good meat pie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I like. There's another one too down in this. We're not sponsored by Premier Meat
Well,
Pie.
I think we should explain what a meat, because I didn't really know what a meat
It's
pie,
like a
meat
proper
pie is.
British meat pie, right?
Like,
I don't.
but
That's
really it's
that
just
was
like
one of the
mashed
questions I had
potatoes.
for you guys. It's like, what is a meat pie?
I don't know. Yeah. I thought I had the mac and cheese, and so I'm out. But it looked like a pile of mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
with like gravy.
And like carrots and shit. Yeah. Like
Like
a
a pot
stew.
roast.
Yeah. But in a pie. But in a pie.
It's
But in a
well, they
was
had
there
they
crust?
had like a stroganoff one, I think, and they had one with Guinness or some Jameson or something.
Yeah, I couldn't have
But-
that one.
Yeah, I remember like I had quit drinking for like 6 months at the time, and I went to a place like that, and they had like this Irish. It was an Irish bar dessert, and I ate something, and they had done like a drizzle of like Irish cream over the top with like just pure liquor, and I took a bite of it, and I was like, holy! Like it was like getting a shot of booze, basically.
Right.
I'm like, I'm gonna start my time over.
Well,
I gotta
exactly.
fucking
What do you
redo
do?
my
Do-
sobriety.
Do I continue the night? Do I have another piece?
I actually
I'm
had
gonna
a,
have at least 3 or 4 more pieces.
I had a situation recently. I had never had this happen before. Like it's been like 12 years since I drank, and I was at a show, and I thought it was like a red Solo cup, and I thought it was water, and I took a swig, and like as soon as it went in my mouth, I was like, "That's not water," and it was just like wine. It was white wine, but dude, I had not had that taste in my mouth at all. It was terrible. Like
Was that hard?
I mean, I drank the whole cup, obviously.
Like, what a bummer that happened with white wine, though,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
if it's going to happen, like, should be something good.
151.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
There's a whole fucking red solo cup of it.
God damn it.
Yeah, it never happened to me before, but I fucking spit it out, and then James Fitz was the guy whose cup it was, and he just started laughing at me. There's no
which
sympathy.
is the appropriate response.
Yeah.
I actually got my car broken into, and that was Fitz's response.
Really?
It was just, I was like, it was like the second time it had happened in like a couple of weeks, and he was just like, oh,
yeah. He's got no sympathy.
It's just that giggle that he does.
Yeah, that he sounds like the guy from Waterboy that just like has that. He's coming on in a couple weeks, and God, those guys are they came on and did the podcast recently. Jeez. Fucking.
Oh, so that's what the stain on the couch is from.
There's one stain. I don't know if it's in the shot.
The Tacoma. We call them the Tacoma Boys.
Yeah, the Tacoma Boys play for keeps.
Yeah, they are a mess.
And they're so kind to me.
I love them.
They have nothing but positive affirmations.
You're talking about Zach and Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you guys what Zach's rules for comedy were.
No.
Like we were going to work with Big J at Spokane. We're walking into the club, and like it's a big weekend, right? Like 300 people or whatever. And I've hosted there. I know what that's like. And I was asking him, I was like, "How you feeling?" And he was like, "I'm good." I was like, "You have no nerves or anything?" He's like, "No, as long as I follow my 2 rules, I'll be good." Okay. And I was like, "What are your 2 rules?" And he's like, "Well, number 1, don't be gay." That was rule number 1. Okay. Think about the layers of humor built into that.
I've already broke number 1.
Second rule, don't drink too much.
Yeah. That's a good rule.
That was it though. Those were just his rules. That was all he had.
And the thing is, I want to say that I've seen him break both of those rules.
Yeah. He doesn't always follow his own rules. That's the problem.
I'm just kidding. I love Zach.
That guy's confidence is like pathological, you know? Like
it's just from growing up in Philadelphia. Or like being from Philly. I guess he grew up in New Jersey, but
yeah, he's got an East Coast vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, he's just he's one of okay, so we got hotel rooms out there, and they had an issue with like we were supposed to get a rollaway bed, and I was featuring, and I didn't want him to get his pay for his own shit. So it's just like, stay with me. But we got there was a hotel full, like a volleyball tournament. And so they couldn't get us a rollaway bed. Mm-hmm. So because of that, they gave us a second room. And he was drunk, and I was like on the phone for like an hour trying to get this room. And it all went through. I got him situated in his room. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know, it was like 5 minutes into him being in there, I go into his room. I'm like, "Hey, do you have a mini fridge?" The other room we were in had one, but this one I have doesn't. And he's like, "I don't know." Like I walk in the room, and he answers the door in his underwear. Perfect. Just like underwear, hoodie, and socks on. And he's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "Dude, is there a mini fridge in here?" And he's like, just getting all contentious with me. And there wasn't one. I looked, wasn't one. And then as I was leaving, he looks at me and he just goes, "Don't ever bother me when I'm in my room."
Oh, princess. Oh my.
Like I went through all the process. It was I was dying laughing. It was so, like, he was just that level of drunk where it was like irrational confidence.
That's amazing.
So funny. Like we did a podcast on the way over there, but he's one of my favorite people. Like all those guys are fucking funny.
They're very, very funny.
It's just fun to be around that many people just like having a good time with comedy and not policing stuff and fucking trying to, They
definitely have no rules.
I will agree with that. I will agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
I respect it. I think that Seattle could use a little bit of that every once in a while. There's
the Tacoma Boys.
Yeah. So let's talk about Comedy Bar a little bit. Yes, comedy /bar/comedy bar.
The bar. The bar. There's
been some early growing pains.
I think it's sweet. I think it's sweet that we can't figure the name out, and now everyone is confused. But the Comedy Bar. The Comedy Bar. The Comedy Bar.
Comedy Bar.
With a slash in the middle.
What was the concept?
I mean, the idea
is... it's kind of in the name, I guess. But
yeah. Like, I want it to be a bar, right? I don't want it to be a club. Like a club opens, you get people in, you get them the fuck out, right? I want it to be a place like that I would want to hang out at, right? Open before the show, comics can hang out. Open after the show, you can hang out, tag each other, drink, whatever. And so that's the concept. Like, I think we all know what we lost when Jau Thai closed, right? It's hard to talk about this without talking about that. And so there's a lot of that I would like to bring back, just fucking hanging out, smoking cigarettes, like bullshitting on a fucking summer night. And
for anybody listening that doesn't know Jau Thai, it was the longest standing alt room in Seattle. Like it was for Seattle comedy. Like it was, I don't know who started it. I mean, you probably know, right?
Yeah, it was Anthony Calderon and Rick.
Rick
Taylor.
Rick Taylor.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, and it was this space that like comics could go hang out. It was very open. Like almost everybody hung out there for the most part that I noticed, and it was just our like community space more or less.
Yeah, and I think everybody got their start there. I mean. The more you talk to people, they talk about, I did my first set there. So yeah, it was, a legendary piece of comedy history. And then it closed in July of 2022.
Because of rats and stuff.
Yeah, because let's be real. The last couple of years at Jau Thai have not been, like, I started doing comedy just a few years ago. And when I would go to Jau Thai, like, it was, it was like the Seattle, like you had to go there, like, but it was sticky.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think it ever wasn't.
Was it always sticky? Was it always like, just like.
I remember the first time I went in there, and I mean, it was such a weird thing to come into when you started comedy. There were so many people moving. I mean, comics just operate so differently than like regular people.
Right.
So it's just everybody's getting high and everybody's fucking smoking and drinking. And like, there's people that aren't actually good at stand up that are there, people that are very funny that are there. It was just like a big melting pot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
a good hang.
Yeah, it was a good hang. It was a crazy spot. And when it closed, that all went away. And
you were running it for a period of time. That's why you bring it up.
I was, yeah. So for I think 9 months or so before it closed, I was running the shows. I was running the bar, and that's kind of how I got my taste for doing that sort of stuff.
Producing.
Producing and running a bar.
Why do you want to run a bar so bad? It's been a lifelong dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I grew up in bars, as soon as I could, I started going, and I'm the kind of person, I talk a lot, and I always became a regular, and I always got to know my bartenders, and I would sit there, I would drink a lot, I would watch what they do, I would watch how they moved, and it was just cool.
Are you nervous though, because you haven't like owned one before?
I mean, I think nervous. Yeah, I think nervous is an incredible disservice to how I feel. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Night sweats. I wake up all the time and I'm like, the reality of the situation is often sort of, it escapes me, right? And because I'm so focused on doing the thing at the time, that there'll be a moment where I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm waiting for someone to come tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's next, go do that. And I'm like,
it's pretty much just running a podcast. It's basically the same thing.
I'm that guy.
You're talking about. I mean, you have a podcast.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Is there an adult?
There's nothing. There's nothing about what it's such a daunting task.
It really is.
You just have to do it.
Yeah, you just have to do it. Punch list, man. Punch list. Just make a list. Work through it.
But you also have a day job, and you're also a dad, and you're in a relationship, and you're like it. I mean, are you concerned about how it's affecting your comedy too? Like just not being able to have the focus on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that when I started this, I knew that those couldn't exist, right? Like for right now, I'm effectively retired from comedy. I'm not taking new shows. Anytime that I have that I can go out in the evening, I'm going to need to be at the bar, right? Mm-hmm. There will be, at home time with my son and then bar time. And that'll be the two modes that I operate in, at least for the beginning.
And then what's the ultimate goal for both of you? Because you're booking there.
Yes.
and you guys are co-owners. Is that like the title? Like, where do you guys want to take this, or like what does success look like?
I think not going bankrupt is like that's the just like the podcast is like there is the goal is just like that I hope it doesn't die in the process, like, and not to embarrass ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, we have very modest goals. It's like when I started comedy, I just wanted to get on stage at the Comedy Underground one time, and I was like, if I do that, I'm great.
Yeah. Which is crazy because you just had to talk to that one guy and get him to like you, and then that could happen. Like,
no, I brought 3 friends.
Yeah.
No, I think the goal is to to have a cool to bring back a cool place for everyone to be for comedy.
Yeah.
And are you're booking weekends though? Like, what does it kind of look like?
Goodness.
Yeah.
It's so scary. Like I haven't booked like on this level, and like right now we're just kind of doing Saturday shows, but a little bit later on down the road we are like looking to do like Friday and Saturday, like but we're booking all kinds of stuff and all kinds of people, and we'll have Thursdays are kind of given away to other producers, so that's really fun. Like we're giving like other people opportunities to come in and
like indie shows.
Yeah, like the Pun Slam and Now and Later with Luke. And,
Luke Severide. And
a couple others. And so...
Paul the Dungeons and Drag Queens, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, they're doing it at Nate's right now.
Yeah. We talked to him. We'd love to have him back. But, I think that they book pretty far out. And so, I think that we'll probably, try and get them back around fall. I think summers are really busy for them with Pride and all of that. So.
Yeah. What the rest of the week though, what does it look like?
Open mics. So it looks like Sunday, Tuesday, and then some Fridays right now we'll have open mics.
Yeah.
Wednesday I've got, I still am figuring out, like that's kind of, I can't decide if we're going to do like a showcase, like kind of like Laughs and like Club Comedy does on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. And then Saturdays right now are going to be showcases until we switch over.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that we want to try and do is on Friday nights when we have a show, run a show from like 8 to 9:30 and then do a late night open mic after that. So the comics A come in for the show, and then B, you get the crowd from the show who stay because they want to see the open mic spectacle, right? And that makes the open mic much more valuable. Right. And so I think that's
late night open mic,
yeah. And because we stay open later. Right. We can do that. We can run open mic till 12:30 if we want to, and that gives people who have shows on Friday the ability to come in and double dip. And so I think it's, we want to try and play with our ability to stay open later, and see what we can do that's cool and original.
Are you familiar with Funhouse down in Portland?
No.
They do it's a really fun spot. It's kind of an indie production location. And they do a midnight mic every Friday night. And so like all the comics in Portland, they do their spots around the city. And then everybody comes together, and at midnight they do the mic at Funhouse. And it's always like people are just fucking, like it's not about the comedy, it's about the hang.
Totally.
And a bunch of people come out usually. And it's always just the hang is great. Like everybody in Portland who does comedy comes to that. Right. And I've always felt like, fuck, we don't have something like that in Seattle.
Yeah, Portland it's a different vibe, like with their comics and like their, at least I've seen, I can say with their females at least, because I feel like they have a few more, but they all live a lot closer together, and it's more like tight knit, I think, in Portland.
Incestuous at times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what good group doesn't sleep with each other? Yeah. Like, come on.
Well, like, on that topic, the elephant in the room that I have to ask, like, you guys are dating, you're going into business together. You both are like, how long have you been doing comedy for? Like,
I've been doing it for about 2 years.
2 years.
So just a little bit of time.
Yeah, me too.
Like, those are all like have the potential for explosion.
Disasters, right. Yeah.
Are there concerns there together? Like, have you guys talked about that at all?
No, we don't talk. We do not communicate. I don't think that that's probably one of the best things that we do.
Yeah.
Is just not speak to each other.
Just not talk about
just
potential issues.
Just absolutely.
Is it
watch
helpful for me to bring this up on a
really,
public forum?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we are both anxious people, so we are constantly thinking about worse, like how this is all going to fall apart and all of the ways that it's going.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there is,
I can't agree more.
Yeah, if there is something that could potentially go wrong, we've thought about it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Just haven't discussed it together though.
No, we do. We actually talk all the time, but I mean, we'll just figure it out.
I mean, it was already a long distance relationship first, right? And she's got.
You guys want to break
kids.
up right now because
If
we
we
can
could.
do. This would be the first time somebody does this
Razors
on the
edge
podcast.
all the time.
That's why Dane's like, no, please don't give her this opportunity.
So funny.
No, no, we've already had like a lot of stuff that like you were saying. Like I live closer to Olympia. I work a regular person job. Like his job, at least he has like. He can work literally from anywhere. My kids are a little bit older. His kid, so there are things that have already been difficult. But I think that this is too big to not like, we'll figure it out. Like I can't fail.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I think that's the thing is like, we've already, with all of that shit, been through a lot of challenges, right? And it's already been tough, and we've already had to create unique boundaries for this relationship for it to work, right? And so it's just like more challenges. I feel really confident in our ability to navigate those in a way that work. And
I mean, he was there at that premiere's meat pie set. He saw that performance from me. Like it was 5 minutes, but it was bad. And and
was not great.
he didn't leave me then.
No, I thought it was okay.
No, that was bad. I couldn't get it together. I was speaking of anxiety. Holy crap.
That was actually something I wanted to ask you about, because when I saw you that night, you were exhausted. Like I hugged you.
People are
like,
worried about Dane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this aspect of comedy of the hustle culture. And I think like when I was working my full-time job and doing comedy, I really fell into that. Like I thought like I just need to do more. And that's kind of the solution. Mm-hmm. And it broke me. And it like took a lot of things from me that mattered to me that I don't have anymore and shit. And I realized it was making me less funny. Like both of you guys do a lot. Have you thought about that at all? Like, and are you actively working on it, or is it just,
Yeah. Well, I think for Dane, like with the bar, like I'm like, I will do the booking. My job is booking and plants. Like so I'm doing all of the booking and all the decor, like, well, not all the decor, just the plans, but like,
and payroll and taxes.
And a lot of other stuff. Yeah. But like, he's the workhorse. And he did decide that when I had to explain to him that when you open this bar, that means no more comedy for you.
Yeah.
Like, I, on the other hand, am not willing to make that sacrifice. So I am trying whenever I can to be writing, and it is hard. And it's hard to come up with new stuff when you feel like your brain is already exhausted trying to come up with different kinds of ideas.
Well, you're being serious all the time too.
Right.
Like that was a big thing that I applaud all those guys from Tacoma, because it's like they fuck around constantly. Yeah. They're the funniest guys I know because they're having the most fun.
Right.
And I kind of realize like there are a lot of people that I see successful, but they're not having any fun. Like they're just, it's like when they're on stage, it's the act and shit. And I've had to be a lot more like proactive about like what can I do today I don't have a job right now, so I'm like, it's a lot easier when that's the case.
That's really fun, actually.
I don't know, man. I think some of it speaks to your goals, right? And if your goals are to go out and have fun and make your buddies laugh, then like that's what you're gonna fucking do.
Yeah.
If your goals are to be serious and go out and find a crowd and get good data from that crowd and use that to, work on your, and I'm not saying that's not what those guys are doing. It's not a knock against them, right? But it's just, I think it's different. I wish that the second one was more fun, but I think that for a lot of people, it's really anxiety inducing. But
I think what I realized just from working with like people that I find really funny and who are successful, they're like, there's this crop of comics that like the Soders, Big J, Ari, like just being around those guys, they're essentially just the guys that were at mics. Like they hung around long enough to be able to like get the exposure that they need to. And they're super fucking funny. And they're funny all the time. Like it's not this, I'm on stage. Like there's some people that are really successful and they're not funny at all off stage. And I didn't get into this to not have fun. And I think I went through that like hustle mentality where it's like, oh, I got to hustle to get on stage. But like that hustle took away the fun for me. And it's like like the data point mentality, which is fucking Jesse Warren. Like he's such a computer dude. I love him, but God, like I hate looking at audiences like they're data, it's a crazy thing. Like those guys from Tacoma, what I respect about them is they watch a lot of comedy and they have, all of them work at a club. So they're like around a shitload of it. So they know what they respect in terms of comedy, like what is actually funny. And to me as a comic, like you shouldn't be checking with the audience. Is this fun? Like, do you guys think this is funny? Cause I think this is like, you should kind of know what's funny. Cause that's your job, and there's a lot of people that are like checking for it. And you can kind of hear it in the act too, when somebody does a joke that they're like, laugh at this. And then if they don't get the response back, then they're like, ugh. Like you kind of have to stand behind this is, maybe you don't like this, but it's still funny. Like,
oh God, Logan.
Well, not him. He's just a chimer. He doesn't. He's like the third guy on the podcast that like he contributes nothing at times. He's given me things personally, but not on the podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was kind of a tangent, but
no, yeah.
How do you guys feel about that though? Like
I don't know. There's an aspect to what I'm doing, like you guys said. When I took this on, I just didn't realize it was going to be the end of my comedy, right? It didn't occur to me. And
you're going to be back, dude. I'm not going to let you not.
Well, I'll be on at my own club, right?
You have every opportunity. You're going to meet every comic. You are going to be. It's just going to be different.
We're going to turn that frown upside down right now, dude. There's no way you're not going to do comedy.
No. But the space that I have for writing and and all of that shit, all of the things that you need to do to grow, aren't going to be there, right?
But you're going to be around comics constantly.
Always.
Yeah.
Like that's going to make you funnier too.
I would love for me to be wrong, but again, worst case scenario, right? And so this is doom and gloom for me, and I'm like, oh, I'm done with comedy. I'm a bar owner now.
Yeah.
And and I think
because I'm the one who told him that.
Yeah. But that was your dream. Your dream was to be a bar owner.
Yeah.
So you're gloomy in your dream.
No, it's fantastic.
This is why people are coming up giving you random hugs.
Yeah.
You seem you're
sad.
really
I'm tired, man. I'm just tired. I'm tired.
Because
that's a very comfortable shade lounge right there. If you just want to lay down,
just curl up.
We'll finish out the pod for you. Get your sleep.
It's, like you said, I got a lot going on, and, I'm very lucky that, my job affords me the opportunity to work from wherever I want. And my son is cool. He was at the bar with me working all day yesterday, just kicking it. My dog too.
Yeah. I've heard nothing. Like I got to get a couple clips or videos from you for this just to show people what it looks like. Cause so many people have told me that it's a great space.
It's really cool.
It's amazing. I'm incredibly lucky. The people that built out that space spent millions of dollars on it.
And they failed as business owners.
It was a place called Club Lagoon for a long time, right? And it was and I shit you not, it was a Miami themed club. And on the roof there was a Lamborghini, an actual legit Lamborghini, like propped up on the roof. And inside And they're still there. The walls are still there. They're what called wet walls, and they're effectively fucking waterfall walls. And so there were waterfalls on the walls. There were plants everywhere. It was like this rainforest.
Was it a gay bar?
No, it was a hip hop club, and it was fucking
Obviously,
notorious.
it was a hip hop club, a
there was-
Miami hip hop club.
Like
With
this
a Corvette hanging from the
I mean,
ceiling.
yeah, well, I mean,
What is confusing about that?
it was notorious for cocaine and violence. I
Right,
think there
of
were
course.
shootings
Miami.
and you know the
in
neighborhood.
Capitol Hill?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
When was it?
this is 2000s. I think they closed in like 2010.
It was 74.
Yeah, the neighborhood association tried to have them shut them down. It's a, you know, anybody that's interested, you can go. And I think there's a bunch of stories about it, but that place was in there, and the dude that set it up spent millions of dollars.
Dude, the bar is like 25 feet. It's stinking. And like the actual bar is like ginormous.
Yeah, the bar is 24 feet long. The walls are covered in these enormous river rocks, and it's not like a facade. It's like somebody took the rocks, cut the back of them so they're flat, and then fucking masoned them in there like they're bricks, dude. It is like,
Dude, cocaine is so profitable. It's crazy.
if there's like a nuclear scare, like come to my bar.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking solid.
Well, we're
I'm
not
excited
sure.
now.
I don't know if we can say that.
Oh yeah,
I
that
don't
we're gonna get
Just in
sued again.
case.
Yeah, that was a joke, y'all.
Yeah.
But so it's an amazing space. It's 4,200 square feet. We're gonna seat with tables around 120, 130, I think, and then
Comics are like going to be allowed to sit down.
oh man, yeah, there's a big patio space looking out onto Broadway where you know comics can hang out. I mean, you can't smoke cigarettes there, but
God damn it.
Yeah, it's such a cool space. Like it's definitely a spot where you want to smoke a cigarette. I
sure.
don't even
Yeah.
smoke,
Yeah.
but I would want
Well,
to smoke one.
we'll see. But
I need to quit.
I know I don't smoke. You said we'll see.
no, I meant for smoking. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
OSHA, no.
No.
So it's an amazing space. You know, we've got a bunch of cool shit that we're doing. I bought a photo booth, and like, you know, we're going to do these amazing original shows, and the location is the best in the city, right? It's like we're 200 feet from the light rail station, and the entire block is bars and restaurants. And so, it's, you know, we're set up for success. It's,
Hell yeah,
it's a great
man.
spot.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. You got to come check it out.
When is it opening officially?
So the grand opening party is May 6th.
May 6th. I
Yes.
think,
Are you
I
free?
don't know if this will be out after or before that, but I'm going to be there the 27th of May. You guys are
Yes,
having
you
me.
are. You are.
And I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
It's
So
gonna be good.
anybody watching, first off, anybody watching, check, is there a website or Instagram page or?
Yeah, it's all comedy/bar spelled out. Comedy SLASH bar.
For now.
Yeah,
Until we
until I
change
get
again.
sued
Get it
again.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, I got in trouble from a club in Chicago called the Comedy Bar. I got a very angry phone call from
Very angry.
from the owner. But eventually, once he figured out that it was a case of stupidity and not malice, he was like, "Okay, cool," and we reached a compromise. And so instead of being Comedy Bar and all of our online stuff, our website and everything was Comedy Bar Seattle. Now we're comedy/bar.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's what we were kind of calling it behind its back anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know,
And are you guys
Comedy Bar.
going to be recording out of there, like podcasts or anything like that?
Yeah, we're gonna have podcasts.
yeah.
We're gonna have Ken Hamlet.
Ken Hamlet's going to do his
coming.
podcast, and then the Chris Hudson thing.
Oh yeah, Leave Your Troubles.
Leave Your Troubles. The recording capabilities there are going to be outrageous. So we bought this fancy Mackie digital X16 mixer.
I mean, that's no Roadcaster
Yeah.
Pro, but it's not a Roadcaster Pro.
And you know, it's got this 2 terabyte hard drive on it, and so everything that goes through it is recorded, and so we will have lossless audio that we can share, and you know, we're giving it away, right? Like, I'm not trying to make comics pay me for video or audio. Like,
They're gonna pay me for it.
you come, you know, you do a show, like you do your art, and I have this thing to give you because it's yours. It's not mine. It's your art. You know? And so, you know, that
You don't think paying $30 for 3 minutes is fair?
Just for the audio, though, not the video.
Yeah, once we add video, we're definitely gonna we're gonna hit you for that. Yeah. No, man. I mean, I don't think we're gonna have video capabilities at the beginning. We're trying to prioritize, right? But I've got some video friends. Brent Driscoll is really talented, and he's gonna help me set up some of the best in the business video. And so we want to be that place where you come and we have good audiences, or we have great audio, we have good video.
Andrew Rivers is gonna come. He's thinking about recording a special.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of exciting.
That's awesome. Can I ask, just like, I know there's some competition stuff in the city.
Yeah.
Where producers and club owners and stuff like I had you guys come on because you're my friends. Like I have known both of you for a while now, but there's this thing that exists, like no competition clauses, and I don't run a fucking comedy room. I don't really want to. I respect what you guys are doing, but it's a lot of responsibility. Like, how do you guys feel about comics working across rooms? Are you okay with doing it? Does it are you?
Yeah. I want comics to win, right? I want comics to win. It's my view that there is an enormous comedy audience in Seattle. There's an enormous comedy audience on Capitol Hill, right? Crazy. There's 30,000 kids that live there, 30,000 adults between the age of 18 and 34 with a median income of $71,000, right? These are people that are looking for shit to do on a Friday and Saturday night, and they have money to burn, right? So more comedy on Capitol Hill benefits everyone.
Or just in Seattle, right?
Exactly. Like, more paid shows for local headliners is good for them, right? Yeah. Exclusivity clauses means less paid shows, and who does that benefit? It benefits the club owner, right? And that's not what I'm in it for.
Yeah, and I want to be careful on that, because I get it that people operate differently, and I'm sure there's rationale for that. Like I don't have any issues with. I try not to have issues with anybody. Like, I get it that they're doing this thing. It's fucking hard. Like, I'm sure these are the mindsets you guys have right now. In a year, there's probably going to be a change to that.
Yeah,
and
I think
that's probably fair to like recognize that those people are dealing with the situation that they have. But I agree with you that it's just, I'm stoked that there's more comedy happening in the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
God, that was diplomatic of me,
but
right?
I hope,
just like, don't hate me if you book
show. You should, it's okay. Rick doesn't like me. But I think if people already have contracts, like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's amazing. Like, get it. Like, and if you can figure it out, which I think if maybe we could figure out the math, we could make it work, where, like, I know that there's a time limit that, like, I'm more than happy to work with whoever, because, like, there is a need for or comedy, and there is a want, but there's not a lot of us, and there's not a lot of headliners, and there's not a lot of female headliners, not a lot of people of color who are headliners. So when I'm trying to book, and I'm not able to book everyone. Like, I can't go from everyone who actually does comedy, because of the contracts that they have. That makes it hard.
Yeah.
That makes it tough. So, that's.
Yeah. I mean, we've already had, 3-4 comics who were booked for shows this summer that had to cancel, based on either
competition.
Competition stuff. And like you said, the first thing I'll admit is I don't know what I don't know, right? In a year, I might be doing contracts, because that's what I need to do. But I don't want. That's not. That's not what I'm
do. Some fucking contracts.
I'm doing contracts literally this week.
Well, I mean, not exclusivity though. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what I don't know. But for me, the goal that I have for this place is that it's good for Seattle comedy, right? It's not that it's good I'm not trying to make a buck on it. That would be fucking great.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you don't want to lose your ass. That's
that's exactly it.
Try not to go bankrupt.
Right. But I want it to be a place, where people can come and they can work and they don't have to worry about that shit. And
have you ever seen When Stand Up Stood Out, the documentary?
Mm-mm.
So it's this documentary about the Boston comedy scene, like in the, I think, 80s and early 90s, and it's just about all the rooms that came up in Boston. It was like that was where like Patrice and Bill Burr and like all these guys were working before they went to New York. But there was this scene in Boston where Barry Katz like booked, I think it was like 50 open nighters or one nighters like all throughout whatever, I cannot talk, New England. And it's incredible where it was this huge scene where guys like Nick DiPaolo and all these guys developed, and then they went to New York and they were motherfuckers when they got there. But they were strong comics, like, because they were 4 or 5 clubs in that area, and comics would go boom, boom, like they'd work all the rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
And and the club owners would make money, the comics would make money, and I hope that like the more stuff like this, like it's just like it benefits comedy, you know?
Yeah, when you know, we're bringing back the Tuesday open mic, right? And when Club Comedy started their Tuesday thing, you know, somebody asked me, is like, are you upset that they're, you know, trying to compete with you? And I was like, absolutely not. That means that there's
wait a year.
there's more comedians on Capitol Hill on Tuesday. You know, you guys want to come up and do a double dip, and you know, just again, it's just it gives people more opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, I agree too in the sense, like I'm fucking going to Tacoma to get up.
I was just going to say, like if there is a spot, comics will come. They will come. We will flock. Like wherever there is potential for comedy or there's potential stage time, we will go. And so, yeah, and we also have the luxury of being like, okay, well, 8 o'clock wasn't working. Let's change it to 9. Okay, 9 wasn't working. Let's change it to 9:50. Like, so we can tweak things and figure them out as our year goes along.
But the comics that are in Seattle are quite a bit different from the comics in Tacoma.
I know.
And you guys work, you've done road work and stuff. You like, do you have any concerns about what that's going to be like for you guys? Because Jau Thai wasn't as official as this.
Yeah.
Like,
I always struggle. I never did well at Jau Thai. So I'm excited. You know, my Seattle career.
Why do you think that was?
I have no idea. They didn't get me.
It was a unique room. It's that neighborhood is.
Well, I'm not very funny.
Well, I mean, yeah. I thought.
Forgot that part.
I mean, I didn't think we needed to cover that. I thought that was kind of.
I didn't want to blame
you. Complete pause.
I thought that was going to be in the bio. And,
yeah, I just want to make sure.
I mean, it's in the show notes.
yeah, for sure. Jess Anderson.
Not that funny.
No, well, you mean like the edgelords? You mean like because it's a spectrum.
It's a real spectrum.
It's a little
definitely
bit tighter.
A spectrum.
It's
and many of them
tighter.
are on it.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
Hi-yo.
Like this is going to sound so fucking cheesy, right? But it's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to like define a set of values that make sense to me and then like stick to those, right? It's not about like looking at the spectrum and being like, these are the people that I want. It's like, I'm going to build the place where I enforce the values that I want, and then the people that I want will show up, and the people that I don't won't, because they're not welcome, and I won't allow them to do that on my stage. I was telling her on the way here, the first motherfucker that tells my audience to fuck off. Are you kidding me? Like, absolutely not, you know? And it's just like you set those precedents, you build those values, and the right people come, and you know, the wrong people don't.
Dude, it's so tricky. I don't envy that at all.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how many times have you been on stage and you've thought to yourself like, fuck off?
You. Like, I want to tell you to go
like I get what you're saying. Like you built this room, you built this space. Sometimes there's shitty audiences, and it's like it's so complicated. And I mean, you've had situations where you've had to backtrack on things with people that that's the piece of this that's the hardest to me, because like even those guys down in Tacoma, like they say shit on stage that I wouldn't say personally.
Yeah.
But like you're not going to tell me that when I hang out with them they don't make me laugh. So it's this weird. So Seattle itself, they have their values, there's their ideas, but I don't think. I mean, dude, there are very few people in Seattle that I've met where I'm like, this is the funniest person I've ever met in my life. Like, it's not a very funny place. Like, people are depressed,
well, very sad,
and angry, and sad, and like.
Well, and like you said before, like we've been on the road, and it's like there are rules and there are things you have to navigate in Seattle that you don't anywhere else. Right?
It makes you better though to understand it at least. You don't necessarily have to follow it, but like to just understand like this is why these people feel that way. Yeah. And like sometimes they're right. Sometimes, I mean, it's subjective.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found in Seattle, like it's more of like there's like that's how do I say it? There, it's not just like a comic, but there's like, you have to like fit into like a certain type of comic. Like instead of just being like, like you have to, like all of my stuff is like, well, I found like when I used to joke about on Jau Thai, like I thought it was a rule that you had to get up there and say your sexuality. They're like, because it was always the second thing. It's like, oh, hi, my name's Jess. I'm bisexual. Like, and I'm like, and every comic would do it. And I'm like, is that like a requirement? Yeah. Like, do you have to get on stage and share your sexuality? Yes. Like, oh,
it was.
Like, I didn't know.
Did you not read the code of conduct?
Yeah, I've learned now. I've adapted. And because now, I did. I'm like, oh, Seattle loves a bisexual, so let's get that out, and it always gets a good cheer. But it's hilarious when you take that shit to Tacoma, and you're like, hey, my name's Jess, I'm a bisexual, and they're just like,
well, what's funny about
and
that?
What? Right? Because in Seattle, it'll get a clap.
Yeah,
just for existing.
I have a whole bit that I do everywhere but Seattle about being from Seattle, and universally anywhere else in the state of Washington, you say I'm from Seattle, and you are immediately met with boos, right? And it's just like, not that I agree with one or the other, right? But it's just like there's two comedy worlds in this state,
It sucks that they're smart though. Like they're fucking they're smart audiences. So you get references, like you fucking with me on stuff.
That's why they don't like me.
But then like the fucking it's the word. Like you say one buzzword, and then you're just completely fucked with them.
Yeah.
But it is nice that when like you do a longer bit, they stay with you because like.
Yes, they're very polite. They're very polite audience.
They're just listening. Like they're you do the road, and it's like you have to go as short as possible, or else they're just like fucking squirrels. Like they just lose interest.
I used to joke that used to be the craziest thing for me, like because I was used to doing bar shows where I would go and like the goal was to get them to settle down. If you got them to be quiet, then you've done something because it's rowdy and then it gets quiet. Whereas at Jau Thai, it's just silence. They just respect you immediately. And I didn't understand how that worked. Like, and then if they start talking, you're like, oh, I know I fucked up.
Yeah. Well, do you think like doing those bar shows, you both have done a decent amount of road work early in comedy. How do you think it made you better? And then do you think you got any bad habits from it?
I don't know if I got any. I think it made me better just because it made me stronger, just as far as like having to work through a crowd, working through and like getting people to settle down. Like, because you do have to do a lot of bar shows. You have to do a lot of shows that are, people don't necessarily want you there. Or they didn't know that you were coming.
Yeah. Surprise comedy,
So
like I'm here to have a pizza with my grandparents and this dude is making dick jokes,
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to make too many wiener jokes. But no, I love doing bar shows. I think because those are definitely my people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love them. I do. I definitely think they made me better too. Because like she said, if you stay in Seattle, what you get are, and I love them, but you get these. They're so supportive that sometimes it's almost overboard. Jau Thai, they would love whatever a lot of people would say, right? Funnier now.
Yeah, they didn't love me.
No, not
if you fit a category,
exactly.
If you fit a category, right. They were gonna. But like, and I probably fit some of those categories myself. I just don't talk about it on stage because it's like I want them laughing. I don't want them cheering.
Yeah, but for me, it was crazy, and I think it helped because it was like one extreme one day, the other extreme the next, and running the room at Jau Thai, I was getting 20 minutes a week in front of that crowd. And so it's hard not to learn the room and learn that neighborhood. Right.
Yeah.
Well, but they also thought that you were gay.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
they liked you. Or you are just
And are
you're
you
just
gonna-
a white guy.
Are you going to come out on this podcast?
No.
Just look at
he's
the
like,
I mean,
No,
Yeah.
I'm not
We're
ready.
all bisexual right now.
Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, a whole room. That's gay.
I mean, I'm open.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
sweet. Yeah.
Like, I
passive.
don't, I'm not,
he
yeah,
wasn't
I mean,
proposing.
I kissed guys in high school, but I mean, like, no, I'm good.
That sounds
Was it
pretty
good
bisexual.
It's scratchy. This is scratchy.
Was
and
it a French kiss?
Yeah, big tongues. Big tongues.
Strong hands.
Big time. All of them?
I mean,
Were there multiple makeout sessions with large tongues? This is news to me.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
yeah.
I want to go back to the road work thing for a second because you guys
shit.
worked with a mutual friend, and can you tell the Danny Hoffman story?
Ooh, I love Danny
for
Hoff.
Anyone who doesn't know, Danny Hoffman is a comic and booker down in Central Oregon. I was going through some shit the weekend I was working with him, and that dude had my back. He was
he
drunk
will. And
almost
he
the
will.
entire time. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was hammered. We went to brunch. Wonderful person, sweet guy. But you guys told me a story about working with him, and this was early in stand-up for both of you, right?
This was, what was it, like last year?
Yeah, it was
well,
like-
everything is early in stand-up.
It
It's
was,
only been
yeah,
2
it
years.
was July, I think, July or
Yeah.
August. It was August, yeah.
We call Danny the wild card behind his back and into his face because he is quite literally just a wild card.
I mean, where do we start? So he booked us for what we thought was a wedding,
yeah.
but was a 25th anniversary party. But
I thought you were going to say funeral.
No, it was. I mean,
thought you-
it was close enough, but like it was. Speaking of people who didn't know that we were coming or didn't want us there, like it was a surprise to the wedding party and the husband. That she was like, surprise, we have comics.
I loved it.
so we were trying
Yeah.
to like infiltrate the crowd and
So
like
can you imagine Danny at a wedding party, like doing like an anniversary show?
Yes, I can absolutely.
Yes, with his material.
Yeah.
oh, and then Billy Chambers, right?
Yeah.
Who's
Super sexual.
angry.
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, I
angry.
literally collapsed onto the ground. I was so embarrassed.
He at one point there was children, and he
Shout
said,
out Billy. He is
Yeah.
a friend.
love Billy.
No, this
Love
was
Billy.
great.
These are all of our friends.
And he
Yeah.
and I mean, we talked about this. We joked about this
Yeah.
afterwards.
This
but he
was
like,
all
"Fuck
Danny's
your
fuck
kids.
up.
Fuck
Yeah.
you," because we
He
weren't.
literally told them fuck their kids. He's like, you shouldn't have brought them. And
Yeah.
but these people
love
had
comedy
and these
so
people
much.
had no idea that comedy was coming. He was like, fuck you, like fuck you, fuck your kid. And I just collapsed onto the ground because
yeah.
this was just the situation that Danny put us in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then he did get us. Didn't he get us the spot though? Like the
Yeah.
He got us
ended
a
up
nice
paying for it.
place,
Yeah,
like
he ended up paying for an Airbnb.
Airbnb, which had pepper spray
Yeah,
by
there
the door.
there was a pepper spray
Incident.
the
Was
wild
it
card.
bear spray?
pepper spray.
Just pepper
Okay.
spray. Just,
Just
you know,
some
like
pepper
one you'd
spray.
have in like your, you know,
And
in
just
your
for
pocket.
safety.
Yeah. I mean, and wild card. Danny.
Yeah. Just took it out and he was like, oh, pepper spray, like right in the house. And just,
just all over the ceiling.
and then he was
and-
like surprised that
Yeah.
it got so,
And the fumes
hard
for
to
that
breathe.
shit, yeah, like, you know, we had to open all the windows. And then he's like, oh man, I touched my mouth.
he's like, it's burning.
It burned so bad. And it was just like, Danny.
It was on the ceiling. It was a mess.
Yeah.
And you guys had to stay there the rest of the time, right?
Yeah,
So were
I
you
mean,
just
yeah.
like coughing up all night?
Yeah,
Like,
it cleared
it was
out.
fine. It was like one spritz, but it's enough to just be like, what is
why would
wrong
you
with
do
you?
that?
Yeah, just
Like
like,
any-
impulse control.
Yeah.
Like we all have, like we all
Fucking
want to
love
do
that
it.
dude.
I know, me too. Like this is with absolute love. Like we had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
But it was an adventure. It was
Danny
a
always puts
debacle.
on it. Yeah, Danny always puts on a good show.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm from
pays
Redmond.
well.
I'm from
Yeah, I
Redmond.
forget that.
And I got to headline there, and that place was packed. We sold out General Duffy's. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think it was because of me, right? But it was sold out.
No, it sold out when he had me down
Yeah,
there. So.
yeah. And there was a ton of
'cause he
people I
does a
went
good
to
job.
high school in there. Like there were some people who didn't even know I was going to be there. It was cool, man. It was a great fucking show. We had a great
That was
trip.
when my friend came too.
Yeah. It was a great time. He puts on a great fucking show. He's he's a wild card.
I
man.
mean, well, and we've talked about him on my podcast too, but like he's a little bull rider. Like he's just.
He used to be a firefighter.
He's just a good.
He's just done a lot.
Well, and he is always drunk. Like he reminds me of Country Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like
just hammer it all the time.
He's always drunk all the time. Like, but he's getting shit done.
I love that dude.
Yeah, I think he offered me mushrooms once, which is, I love that. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's very kind.
I appreciate that.
Right, let's talk about Tarp Report, and then we got to wrap up here.
The Tarp Report.
What is it?
The Tarp Report is a podcast with myself and comedian Sam Miller from Olympia.
Yeah, he's been on.
You've had him.
I think it was like episode 135 to 1. It's in there. Look him up on YouTube.
Look him up. He's fantastic. And it's just us kind of, it's called the Tarp Report because it covers everything. Sam and I have done comedy together a lot, and we have.
I just got that. Why it's.
it covers everything. Yeah.
It takes a minute to bake. Yeah.
Isn't that? I'm a fucking genius, bro. Like I came up with myself. I'm so proud of him.
I kept thinking, like, what is the acronym? What the fuck is the acronym?
Tarp Report. Yeah, because he used to be homeless.
And
he loves a good tarp. So, so we call it the Tarp Report. But it's just we swear that we don't talk about comedy, but it does end up being us just like talking pretty much about. I mean, because what else are we going to talk about?
Comedy. Yeah.
And so it's just a good time, just another fun way of me being able to talk to people.
Nice.
And run my mouth.
Is it funny?
It is funny. Okay. Yeah, I think it's funny.
Because we've had a lot of episodes on here. I've gotten a lot of feedback lately that it's not funny. Yeah, it's not funny enough. It's too informative or
that intro that you gave earlier was fucking professional.
It's very professional.
Yeah, so I can see.
I need to stop doing it.
There was nothing.
Keep
funny
getting a
about
lot
it.
of. I get a lot of feedback from people on things I need to do differently.
Oh yeah, they love that.
Yeah.
I get a lot of on YouTube. YouTube is they're rough on
you
YouTube.
ever checked out Reddit? Because that
I won't.
Reddit's fucking savage.
I'm entirely too afraid of Reddit.
Yeah.
Like I'm just now dipping my toe into YouTube Shorts, and it's rough. But I know Reddit will eat me alive, and they'll be right.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. Everything that they say will be completely fucking correct.
I don't need that level of honesty in my life. Yeah.
Put the mirror down.
Yeah, we'll get a couple comments on this one for sure.
Yeah.
So,
do you put this on Reddit?
we put it everywhere I can on the internet, and it's.
Should I be putting the Tarp Report on Reddit?
You can.
Damn, I didn't even think about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, the feedback won't be great.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it'll hurt a lot.
It's feedback.
But yeah, it's what I deserve.
I mean, as they say on YouTube, this is why women aren't funny.
They say that so often.
God, we should have fucking named the episode this. All right. Yeah. So where can people find each of your stuff and then stuff about the Comedy Bar?
Sure. So comedy/bar.com. If you want to get tickets, comedy/bar.com/tickets. Tickets for Adam's show are already for sale. They're up. And so, go there. You'll see Adam's face. Click on it. Our grand opening is May 6th. Tickets are about 65% sold out already. So if you're thinking about going, they're only $5.
I don't know if this will be out
be done.
by then.
It's already over. Oh, we've already had so much fun, but it's fine. It's fine.
I did it.
It's good.
But yeah, no, it's fine.
You sounded really, you were on it.
But then for your comedy too?
I'm Dane Codes on Instagram. And so, we'll see. I mean, like you said, I'll still have a lot of comedy opportunities. And so,
CODES.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Jess?
You can find me on Instagram at Coach Smoach, COACHSMOCH.
SMOACH.
Right, that's what I said. I didn't spell it right. But yeah, and
then Tarp Report.
And then the Tarp Report is it's on. You can just Google it, and we're on Spotify, iTunes, and all of the places. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. You can watch us too, which is super fun.
Thank you, Bull, for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
This was fun. Looking forward to doing the show. If you are just listening to us, make sure to rate and review wherever you're listening. And then if you're watching, make sure to hit that notifications bell so you don't miss our upcoming content. Throw in a question or comment for us if you can. Chandler Noble Hatch keeps throwing in good stuff. There's somebody else.
Chandler.
Ardin on YouTube. I don't know who it is, so maybe if I could send me a note as to who that is, because I'd love to give you a shout out.
You know, Chandler loves you. And he really, I mean, he's a big fan. He's also my coworker, so I just wanted
Is he?
to, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I told him we were coming here.
Small
Fuck yeah.
world. He's so excited.
Yeah, that's
so that's
awesome.
really funny that you just brought him up.
Him and somebody else. Oh, B White, they did that.
Oh, yes,
like
the
parody.
fata. Yeah,
it's great. So I'm getting all kinds of great impressions of me. We're gonna have to put those up. But then,
that's awesome.
If you are watching us on YouTube or listening, just make sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/FNFpod. Support us if you can, and then we're on Instagram at FNFpod for any additional content. We do fake sponsors, different things on there, but we're gonna leave you guys with Jaka.
I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. My wave pool, my wave pool. Welcome to 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 my wave pool.